Welcome to our first look at the Yooka-Laylee toy box, which is a demo that the creators of the soon-to-be-released early 2017 Yooka-Laylee put out just to kind of prove what the heck they're doing. And we already kind of knew what the heck they were doing, but we wanted a little bit of assurance, and this definitely proves that they are out there trying to recapture the magic that was Banjo-Kazooie. Almost unashamedly so. And we'll take a look at just about everything the game has to offer shortly here. I mean, look at this logo. That's the rare logo. It's ridiculous. And then we'll get to the music in a second too. But the game is awesome, and I'm not shaming them at all for it. This is exactly what I want this game to be. So this is your robot assistant that guides you through everything that you do in this, and there's like this gimmick where he's playing up the fact that it's a simulation and that he's trying to kill all sentient life and stuff like that. It's really funny stuff. Actually, it is pretty clever. And you know, it sounds and plays exactly how you'd assume. So we'll just go through some of this. You gotta go through the tutorial to an extent here. I've already played through the whole demo and collected all of the collectibles there are. He refers to as user. I guess his name's Inept. Virtual reality sandbox of the real world final game. Okay. That's all we'll really deal with the tutorials. Thank God, because that guy gets... I know what they're going for, and it's the same vibe that Banjo-Kazooie went for with the tutorials. Is this... Oh. You can murder me later if you want, but I invert. Oh, missed it. Okay. So now let's get to it. Alright, so here's the toy box that you have. You're free to explore this whole area here. And, you know, there's a big island up there. There's big sections over there. And there's 100 of these notes we'll collect. Probably not going to collect them all in this because it'll take a little while, but these things are the things you collect, which are literally feathers. I mean, they call them quills, but what are quills but feathers? I haven't found any puzzle pieces yet. Maybe something similar to that I imagine will be in the final game. But everything is quite a bit on the nose. Alright, give it a whack with X. And yeah, you find those treasure chests, they give you some feathers, and then there's, of course, feathers throughout the whole world. I think the game looks incredible. You know, this is the exact look and feel you really want these games to go for. We'll go through some things. You have your jump, double jump. Then you have this little maneuver where the bat rolls the gecko around. And this helps you go faster, but it's harder to make fine-tune movements. We'll check that out a little bit later. Duck, and then you can do your little spring jump. I think that's really it. And then you can center the camera, which I don't like the location of the center the camera button because you have to hold the trigger in order to do this move, and the center of the camera button is the right bumper, so you kind of gotta use 2 fingers to do that. I hope they move it to a different button in the final, or at least it lets you customize it. Nope. Fell in the water. And yeah, there's water, swimming and stuff like that. Swimming feels pretty good. Not better than it did in the original Banjo-Kazooie, that's for sure. And there isn't a breath gauge. I don't know if that'll be in the final version or not, but I imagine it will be. That's something that these games always did. Oh, and if you double jump and then hold A, you can do a little flutter hover kind of thing that gets you to different areas. And yeah, man, this is a platformer-ass platformer. Nothing holding it back. It's challenging. There's definitely areas where I was struggling to figure out how to get to certain places, which is, you know, exactly what you want. I mean, it's no like shock that, you know, there just isn't that many platformers around here anymore. Good 3D platformers, that is. You know, I like Ratchet and Clank, but you know, they're at a point where they're remaking the original now, and you just don't see them anymore. And I'm happy to see an indie dev make something that the fans like already know that they want, and you know, the talent that is putting this together is some of the original people. I mean, Grant Kirkhope is doing the soundtrack, which you can so obviously tell if you haven't already. Oops, I messed that up. This soundtrack is ridiculous. How much it sounds like the original Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack. In fact, I went back and I listened to some of it, and it isn't quite as carbon copy as I remember it, but it is really close. And that's fine. I'm not saying, hey, you're ripping off Banjo-Kazooie. No one's making Banjo-Kazooie. Rare is not announcing a new Banjo-Kazooie. They're not, you know, going after these guys saying, hey, you're basically aping our formula. They're not doing it because no one is making a new 3D platformer these days. That said, all this has really done is kind of make the wait for the final game even worse. Man. Yeah, so you kind of do this for the duration. Collect your quills, And there really isn't a whole lot to do for subsequent playthroughs of this. It's definitely a play it once, get the idea, and just wait for the final game to come out. As far as I know, they're not. Maybe they're planning on updating this. That would be awesome if they add a couple more features to it or something like that. We'll head over here and I'll show you some. There are some gameplay mix-ups that they added in. Oh. Yeah. All right. So yeah, movable obstacles. You switch up the camera angle here, which I think is pretty cool. Almost like a rat in a maze kind of perspective. And you know, they're just showing you that, hey, there are gonna be some puzzles here. And he'll say, hey, what do you think? Let's head over to the Playtonics forums and talk about what you think of the game. So yeah, I think with the little bit of writing there has been, they seem to be nailing the attitude, the kind of, you know, it's very tongue-in-cheek. They know they're making fun of themselves and everything about the game. Not in like a, hey, we're ripping off Banjo-Kazooie sort of way, just like in a poking fun at the fact that it's a demo and that it's a simulation and that it's not the real thing, and then saying, hey, why don't you go over to playtonics.com and comment on what you think about what you just played. So that gives me hope for the final game's writing. And of course the visuals are, yeah, I'm gonna screw this up real hard. This was definitely the hardest part of the demo for me, was getting to the top of this tower. You gotta roll basically to the top of this tower, and because of how imprecise the, like purposefully imprecise the rolling is, it's pretty tough. They mix in things like, oh, like that. I'm not gonna, all it is at the top is another treasure chest, so I won't waste too much time. Oh, actually, you knock down a ball up there that you need in order, you need to put it in here, and this opens this up. I'm not really doing a strategy guide, but I guess I could add that little tip in. So yeah, they've got this breeze stuff, so you could tell that there's going to be environmental puzzles. Oops, missed it. Oh, this music. It's amazing how this style of music still just holds up so well. I got 50 of them. It's really not that hard to find them all. There isn't too many that are super hidden or anything like that. It took me, I'd say, about an hour maybe at the most to kind of scour everything and find everything. Whoa! Oh, Jesus. Those things hurt you. Although there doesn't seem to be health system in this build, so doesn't really matter too much. Oh, and of course, you know, they joke about how, you know, the final game is going to, you know, he's a robot, so he likes the artificial stuff. About how the final game is going to have gross organic foliage in it and stuff like that, as opposed to the sterile, sterile art style of a simulation. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what the final environments look like, because this obviously isn't the final look of the game. Although, I mean, it would be, this is a really cool, colorful look and design for what they're doing here, for like a demo simulation type thing. Let's see if we can get up here and then probably call it quits. They gave this out to their backers, and I didn't back the project, but I obviously have access to it. So anybody who backed their project, I'm not sure if there was a special tier that you needed, like if you had to donate a certain amount to their Kickstarter, or what the deal was, but you may have access to this if you don't already know about it. It's worth checking out, that's for sure. Alright, so here's something cool. I'll try and catch this guy. He's kind of a pain. There he is. So this is obviously going to be some sort of collectible. Ghost Riders. So you can see down at the bottom there's 5 of them, 5 silhouettes there. I don't know if there's 5 in the game in total, or if every level is going to have 5. So that's just another type of collectible that you can, well, collect. Because that's what these games are all about. Navigation and collecting. I think this is just physics. Yeah, I mean, the first Banjo-Kazooie, well, all the Banjo-Kazooies were all about, you know, using your platforming skills to get to places that seem difficult and collecting things. So these are like seesaws. It's funny that, you know, I'm excited about these things that have been in platformers since pretty much the beginning, and I'm excited because I haven't seen a new game with them for a while, very long time. I mean, like, there's still 3D Marios coming out, there's still, of course, like I said, Ratchet and Clank, and I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking about, but like even Ratchet and Clank is more of an action game than a platformer game. And Mario, I'm super excited to see what the next Mario is. What they're gonna do on the Switch, and if they're going to go for a more traditional 3D Mario like Galaxy and Mario 64 style, or if they're gonna put in some gimmick like Super Mario 3D World was great, but it wasn't really a true 3D Mario. It had fixed camera angles and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the entire area there. And yeah, I mean, there are secrets here. I don't want to totally ruin everything if you do have the ability to play this. I might do a collection video, just go through and show, just pick up all the quills and everything like that. And yeah, I mean, the game, it plays well on my computer, as you can see. No, I don't know how well that plays. It is at 60 frames per second. I'm running it at 1080p. The stream is 720p at 30 frames per second, but the game is definitely playing super smooth. I haven't had any crashes or anything like that, so it seems to be a solid engine they're using. Well, they're using Unity, so you get a certain amount of reliability there, I'm sure. And yeah, I'm just super excited to see this game in its full release form, because based on what I've played, this is... Oh, I guess you don't have to climb up that thing, you can do it here. Based on what I've seen here, this is precisely what they needed to do, and they're knocking it out of the park, which is good. It's good to see. It's good to see. You know, these indie projects come to fruition. Like, actually start out as, you know, the humble Kickstarter, trying to prove that it is what it's going to be, and coming out, releasing, and being amazing, which I'm fully expecting this game to be based on what I've played here.
Hey!